So, three kids mine, Wheel of Misfortune. What have I gotten myself into? How's it going, everybody? My name's Steve, and I'm not leaving Las Vegas. We're taking a walk up a mountainside, kind of, sort of, mountains for Nevada, to the Wheel of Misfortune, because today we're going to be interviewing a graffiti artist. We'll introduce him in a few minutes so I don't get his tags on Instagram and stuff wrong, but we met him downtown at the downtown alley. We're in Henderson right now, technically almost Boulder City, and Lake Las Vegas is actually just over there. If you look and you have eagle eyes, you can see the strip in the background. So we're gonna take a walk. We had to get down here first of all. We're gonna see some graffiti artists in action, a professional graffiti artist that has done work all over Las Vegas. We're gonna do a quick interview. So I hope if you guys like this video, you guys would do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for the future notifications as we walk to the Wheel of Misfortune. I don't even know where I'm going. It's like there's tires absolutely everywhere behind me. This is a surreal experience. I've lived in Vegas since 2004. This is the first time I've ever actually heard of this place. So that says a lot about the diversity of Southern Nevada and what's actually out here. So how do you get here, first of all? Well, basically you take the 215 south until it no longer exists. You're gonna get on, I believe it's Lake Mead, 562. You can only find this in Google Maps. Apple Maps doesn't cover it. And what will you find out here? You're going to find an abandoned mine that was built up in the early 1900s, and it actually mined manganese. Manganese, that's what it is. Yeah, that's the ticket. That was something that was used to harden steel back in the day, and it actually was a very, very important part of the war effort in World War I and then World War II. Right now, the mine is in a bit of limbo, right? It's no longer active, obviously. It's now a place for people to come and hike and do outside stuff. A place for me to get winded walking up here because I haven't done any cardio exercise in a long time. But in 2013, it was turned over to the city of Henderson in some kind of federal land act so they could clean it up. They want to build high density residential here, which would be a shame. But at the end of the day, there's some interesting facts you might want to know. First of all, manganese, it's an element. It's actually cheaper to import it into the country now from other places, unfortunately, so they don't, mine it anywhere in America, really, that I know of. And they used to put it on horses and carts and truck it all the way down there, all the way down to Fremont Street, so it could get on the rails, so it could be exported and shipped all around the country to different places. Can you imagine 10 horses with a carriage with a bunch of manganese, which is not exactly a clean thing? Yeah, I can't imagine it either, but yep, that really happened. But if you guys like this video, like I mentioned, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for the future notifications. If you guys want to support the channel, we have Patreon, we have channel memberships. There's been a fire up here, you can tell. We also have VegasFaceMask.com, no S at the end. I'm wearing my Battleborns hat, my Vegas-born mask. These are 2 for $25. The wife makes them, ships them out anywhere in the United States for free. We also ship overseas. The best and only 2 masks you'll ever need. But let's take a look right now as we walk to the Wheel of Misfortune through what looks like a giant brush fire might have happened here in the past, in a place that I've never been in the entire time I've lived in Las Vegas. Very cool. Very cool indeed. If you want to say something.
Say something.
It should be okay. I'm just going to hear it in a minute.
Anything.
All right.
Check.
All right, so we're recording. So this will be short. So Black 57, nice to meet you.
Nice to be here.
So we met you down on downtown alley.
Yep.
And I asked you to come out here into the middle of absolute nowhere where there's spray cans everywhere.
Yes.
And so where are we right now, man?
This is the Wheel of Misfortune. We call it that because the artist who did this piece, it's called Aware, he did this entire, I guess it's a circular concrete abandoned mining area,
right.
But he did it in the fashion of the Wheel of Fortune, but it's a Wheel of Misfortune that he painted, and it's all zeros. It's like bankruptcy, lose your home, stuff like that, instead of giving you like the bonuses and stuff that you do on the Wheel of Fortune. Right. It's the Wheel of Misfortune, but because of that, we called the whole place that because he was the first one to do it, and it's the most monumental piece here. But now it's just like a graffiti spot. A lot of people come out here and just paint. The walls. They leave his stuff there because it's like the landmark.
Hail to the king.
Hail to the king. You know what I'm saying? He's the first to do it, Aware. He's the it's big.
Nice.
But
nice.
yeah, so we're out here just chilling.
All right, so you're a professional spray. What do you call yourself? Graffiti artist, spray artist? What's your title?
Just artist in general.
Just artist in general.
I do a lot of different types of art, but I started with graffiti, and learning the history and the politics behind that growing up, and also learning the art style behind it. But I wanted to learn art more, you know what I mean, to be better at graph.
Okay.
But because of that, I also got infatuated with art and just started learning how to paint and how to do other pieces, other styles and stuff. So just art in general,
So we're gonna watch you paint something today, okay? And we're gonna film that, and we're gonna do some interviews while you're painting. You're okay with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. So we got some questions from Patreon people, and Black57. That's how they find you on Instagram. And
yep, Black57 TCB.
TCB.
Yep, Black57 TCB.
TCB. Taking care of business.
Taking care of business. The city's best.
The city's best.
The chocolate bars. The cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers, I love it. All right, so do you have anything in mind what you're going to do for us right now? It's this wall, right?
Yeah, this wall here. No, not necessarily. I just got some colors picked out. I'm just going to rock it, just sort of freestyle.
Okay.
That's usually how I paint.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's get going.
Sweet, man. Let's do it. We grab a color. Let's bang it up.
We got some questions, so I'll just ask you the questions, I guess, as we go.
Yeah,
I realize I can't remember most of them, but that's okay. So how did you get your start?
Well,
what's your story? What's your backstory?
Yeah, just start in general. Back in, I think, just my whole life, I can think back. My cousin would always do graffiti art back in the 90s, and I was maybe 3-4 years old, and I'd just go see his art, and it really inspired me as a kid, like a little kid. Me and my brother inspired both of us.
Right.
But I forgot about it. We left Albuquerque, that's where I'm from. We moved here, I was about, 9, I think, around 8 or 9, and didn't have anything. But through the years, I sort of became more introverted over the years, and when I was alone, I would draw and doodle and do art and stuff with my brother, and it was something, I guess, just embedded from seeing my cousin do it. But it never clicked until I think middle school, when I was walking around or walking to school and from school back home, and I'd go through back alleys and stuff instead of taking the sidewalk because it was boring to rock on the sidewalk. I was like, well, I've walked this street so many times, I'm going to take the back alleyway. Started seeing graffiti and shit, and I was like, oh, this is cool. People are coming out here just putting colors and stuff on the wall. What the hell is going on? What is this? And it got me so intrigued, I think, around middle school. And then I was like, oh yeah, so my cousin used to do. He was doing something similar. I remember that. And then it sort of just clicked. I was like, I kind of want to do it. I think that's pretty cool, So I started taking pictures of it because I thought it was cool. And I take pictures of the graffiti and go home, and then go to Walgreens and get it developed on disposable camera, you know?
Right. And
I had this file of cool graffiti pieces I thought were cool, and showing kids at school, and they're like, hey, why do you have a picture of my graffiti? I was like, oh, that's you? Oh, that's crazy. He's like, wow, what do you write? I was like, what does that mean? What do you write? What's your graffiti name? I was like, I don't have one. I don't have a graffiti name. But you gotta have a graffiti name. And so I picked Black Sheep back in middle school, sixth grade.
Black Sheep?
Yeah, Black Sheep. And it's been Black Sheep ever since. I've met a lot of writers who changed their name a lot, over the years.
Right.
But I've never changed Black Sheep once since 2003, 2004. But I was maybe 6th grade, 5th grade kid, I wasn't really painting though. I was more so a fan of it first, and then I started to do my research and fell in love with the culture behind it. I studied the classic, 1960s, 1970s New York. I learned about the first graffiti writers in the world, their mentality behind it, and what it meant to them. And it's pretty much just a bunch of people making do with what they have on hand to make their life better or to express themselves.
So how do your parents take to your ideas?
My mom, she would support me because she would buy me paint to do spray paint art, like the planets and stuff like that.
Right.
And I would always tell her that's what I'm using the cans for. I'm using them to do spray paint art. I'll make the planets and all that stuff. And my dad would do the same. My dad and my mom, they both supported me with it when they saw me doing that with the paint. But I couldn't help but get curious and go wander into a ditch and to go paint something. So
Right.
It ended up taking the cans and going tagging, and I usually wouldn't tell them either one of them when I would paint illegally. I would just go out when nobody was up, late at night, go find a spot and go do a piece there. But to me, if I was doing something colorful and something nice, I can justify it to myself if I got caught. I always said that, like when I was painting to myself, like, well, if they catch you, if you get busted this time, if the cops come, at least you can say, look at what I'm doing, at least it's colorful. At least you can say that,
What about the first time you got caught?
I don't think I ever got caught.
Whoa. Seriously?
Yeah, no, I'm slick with it, man.
You're the outlier.
Yeah, I'm slick with it. That's why I don't really roll with too many people when I paint. I usually go painting alone. Nowadays, at least, I used to have a crew back in the day. We used to go bomb Vegas a lot, but that's been over 10 years, I think, at this point. And I'm like, I'm not really, young trying to bomb anymore. We call it bombing. The act of graffiti in the graffiti world is called bombing. Okay. When you go out, like right now, I'm bombing. Okay. But I don't really feel the need to keep up with all the kids who are bombing. Right. I've done that. I'm on to some other stuff, and unless it's like this where it's chill and, I can just sort of like paint at my leisure and I don't have to, I don't got to be like, having all my shit in my hand at all times, so I got to run. You know what I mean? Right. I can go and enjoy a wall here and there on my downtime if I want to just put some colors down. But yeah, no, I was never caught. They caught me with implements one time.
So you had the cans on you?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. I just had to do like a little community service. I didn't really, it was really nothing major at all. Nice. But I've never been, I've always been able to talk my way out of the police, trying to. I remember they pulled me over one time. I had a ton of cans in my trunk, and it was like an SUV sort of vehicle. So like it was open. You can see all these cans. And the cops had pulled me over for, I think, speeding, but I wasn't speeding because I remember it very vividly. And this is like a long time ago, but they pulled me over and they say, why do you have all these cans in the back of your car? And they're like trying to find something to get me on. They had nothing. I wasn't speeding, wasn't nothing, but they just pulled me over because it was the only car. And I was like, oh, I do spray paint art on the strip. And they immediately changed their tone. Oh, you do that? That's awesome. Oh, man, hey, listen, I was always wondering if you guys could do like something like this. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? Wow. Yeah, but like I've always been able to reconfigure their focus on things so that they don't bother me. And I'm not really causing any trouble anyways. So.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up. Yeah. Count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives. Need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game.
So, in terms of jobs that were actual, like paid jobs, what was the most largest, challenging type of job you ever approached and did?
There's a wall I did downtown in the art district for a company called Remark Holdings. Okay. And they're an artificial intelligence firm. They had me do this huge wall for them, the whole front of their entire building. I don't even know how long it was. Probably like from this building, like comparing it to this, it was easily 2 of these wall sizes on top of each other for the height. So it was 2 of these and about maybe 200 to 250 feet. Wow. Long.
How long did that take you?
It took longer than it should have. Okay. But it's probably like about a month of work, a complete month of work. But it was a lot of wall space to cover. I didn't expect to cover all of that either when I got into it. But it took about a month, about 36 hours in total of work spread on throughout that month. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a really big one. But yeah, definitely that one for sure. That one I was on a a scissor lift. Yeah, scissor lift the whole time, just doing it. And I probably went through a good $1,200 in paint, just spray paint alone. It was all done with spray paint and latex paint too. So it was a biggie. I bought the city out of some specific colors. I went to every single art store in town and bought them out of specific blues and specific oranges that I needed for it, because I already started in those colors. And then I had to wait for everyone in town to get the shipment back, and I went back and bought more.
That's why it took longer than it should have.
Yeah, that's why it took longer than it should have. Yeah, just because of the paint. Yeah, but it was a big one. I didn't expect it to be that big.
Wow.
But yeah, it was fun too. More than anything.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still sit and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with A, yeah, I'm with J, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field.
We couldn't have chosen a better lighting situation for this, man.
Oh yeah, and the shade's perfect, because everything just get washed out if it's half shade, half something else, but also too the shade just pops the colors out a bit more too.
Best time to do black and white photography?
Oh yeah.
In the morning when it's overcast?
Oh, overcast, yeah.
After it rained.
Overcast is always my favorite to come back and take a picture of my piece.
Oh yeah.
Because the colors look the best in overcast, because it's like a nice little lampshade. Yeah. Always try to make colors pop too with graffiti specifically. But me personally, when I'm doing a piece like this or just something like this, I really like to turn it up and just put bright colors next to each other as much as I can. Orange and green are super clashing colors. When you put them next to each other though, it just looks so bright. Then you step back from it, it just burns it off the wall a little bit, you know? I don't mean to go over these legends either. These guys are legends.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's not a disc piece, you know? So I'm trying to cover it up a little bit more.
What's a disc piece? I think I know what it is, but why don't you explain?
Yeah, a disc piece is when you have a malicious intent and you see someone's graffiti on the wall you don't like. You don't like them, so I'm gonna go over their graffiti because they said this, that, or the other, or they do this that I don't agree with, or whatever it is, you know? And so by dissing it, you know, you're saying, I don't like you. And when you say that, a lot of writers go, what's up, man? What's good? Let's handle this. You know, why don't you like me?
Then you have a takeoff. Human
to human. What's the issue here? You know, and, you know, if they say, I just don't like the way you paint. Sometimes people are like that, and then, you know, find yourself in a world of beef. We call it beef. So,
how bad can a beef get?
A beef can get as bad as it, you know, as it gets bad. You know, sometimes people some people lose their lives sometimes over beef.
I was going to say, Tupac had a really bad beef.
Yeah, he did.
Ultimately ended badly. So, I mean, has that happened in
the graffiti world? Yeah, in graffiti world, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But that happens, you know, when, you know, you have something else is going on too at that point, you know, where it's not just graffiti involved. It's now something to do with other things, and they're, you know, finding out where you work and talking to your girlfriend, or, you know, stuff like that. And it escalates more and more and more to the point where something like that happens. Or someone does something so disrespectful, blatantly, it doesn't care, and the crew or the person that they're disrespecting has no other way of handling it, you know. Like, let's say someone does graffiti through 1990 to 1996. And let's say that person gets hit by a car or dies. That graffiti they did lives in that era, you know, and is somewhere out in the world somewhere. Now let's say some other writer comes up, says, oh, look at that shitty piece, who doesn't know his history, who doesn't know who that is, doesn't know what they did. Maybe they did something for their community or for the people in the graffiti world at that time, and goes over his piece, and he's dead. He's you know, he just went over a dead man's artwork. And so his crew might have something to say about that, you know. The people that he meant something to might have something to say about that. Say, hey man, you don't know what you're doing. You just went over something that is like a landmark to us, that means something to us. He's not around. and we used to come and put flowers in front of that piece or something, you know, then, you know, now you have to handle your beef. You know, so it's all about how that person wants to handle it. You can either give up a portion of paint, you can give them money, you can talk to them if they're reasonable, you can try working it out reasonably. And if you're just the kind of person who goes, I know what I did, I just didn't like that piece anymore, it's ugly, then you're just being blatantly disrespectful, and then the crew has to handle it, you know. Some people don't back down, and some people, you know, just don't care. But luckily in the graffiti community, yeah, I see 50-50 sometimes, to be honest. It depends on the mentality and what they're doing, you know. Because in graffiti it's sort of split up between like piecers and bombers. People who bomb, they're people who are young, they're out to get a name for themselves, and they're tagging on walls to get, and you know, put their name up all over the city because they want to get known. So when I meet them, or someone meets them, anybody meets them, they go, yeah, that's me. I go, oh man, I've seen you up all over the place, you're all city, you know. And then you have people who are more concerned with combining colors and, you know, doing artwork and stuff like that, and those are piecers, and people who are doing other stuff with it. Oftentimes people who bomb usually just bomb only. But then you get the large community who do both. There's some bombers that I know who do artwork and do pieces, do really nice canvas work, you know, but there are writers out there who just only bomb, you know. So it's a mixture, it's the whole mixed pot of the whole spectrum of artistic people, bomber people, people in the middle. You know, the graffiti isn't all one solid thing, but everyone handles beef differently, you know. Everyone handles their confrontations differently, essentially, is what it comes down to, you know. Like life, you know. It's you know, it's like life, you know.
So I want to point out right now you're spray painting over these words.
Yes.
Yeah. You go back in the video if you guys want to see what it said. It now says nothing else. But
it definitely says portal.
It said something other kind of portal.
Definitely says portal. Yeah, you guys just go back in the video and watch it.
Go watch it. I haven't mentioned it, but I'm sure of you guys that are eagle eyes have pointed it out in the chats already.
Please, yeah. Write down what it said right here.
Write it for me. I'm not please write it or say it.
Leave a comment. Leave a comment what that said. That's got all the bells and whistles on it.
That's it. Wow. So you're happy, yeah?
Yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
We're happy. That's amazing.
That one came out solid.
Thank you. So Black, let me ask you a closing question. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you had one piece of advice for somebody that wants to do something creative and they just, I don't know, something in their head sticking, they think they can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, look what you're doing as your vocation, as your vacation.
Absolutely.
What would you tell them?
I would tell them just start doing it. You know, like I compare people as a person is a living organism. A tree is a living organism, right? Compare a person to a tree. A tree doesn't think about how to grow. It just grows. The branches just come out. You don't go to a tree and say you're branching wrong. Your branches aren't right. You don't do that. So in the same way, a person can create something the same way a tree can grow. Just don't judge it. Don't say you're branching wrong. Just branch out. Just do it. Just go for it, because it's like a tree saying, oh, I don't feel right growing a limb that way. This doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't do that. It doesn't disseminate between the two things. I would say just start doing it, and if it makes you happy, don't stop doing it. Do what makes you happy, you know? Because if it doesn't make you happy, then why are you doing it? And also, too, if it makes you happy, why aren't you doing it?
Exactly. Precisely. Good advice to live by.
Yeah.
So, Black, this has been a really cool day.
Thanks.
When we started out here, go to the very beginning of the video, there was nothing on this wall. I mean, there was other stuff on the wall, but you've completely created. How long did this take us?
Maybe like an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Hour and a half distilled down for you guys to watch.
Yeah.
And I noticed you keep kind of tweaking it. You could do that all day, right?
Yeah, I can do it all day.
Exactly. So if people want to find you, your primary thing is Instagram, right?
Yeah, usually just on Instagram. It's Black57TCB.
Okay.
And then I have my Etsy account in the bio there if anyone wants to purchase like a spray paint picture. So I sell them online too.
But you have a gallery here. You told me.
Yeah, I also have a gallery that displays like the finer art. So that takes a little more time, a little more effort. That stuff there is at Perfect Darkness Gallery.
Okay, where's that located geographically here?
It's at the Arts Factory.
Okay.
In the art district. So in the art district, there's a huge building called the Art Factory, and they have lots of different galleries inside of it.
Is that real old building?
It's the one that's
inside?
Yeah, it's the one that has all the line paintings on it. Like literally, you can go right into downtown. It's covered in these huge geometrical line mural.
We showed them on a Sunday live stream. I was blown away. It was early, so nobody was open. So.
Yeah, the ISI did that. I think it's crazy huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a video. So this is the time of the video where what I usually do is I go 3, 2, 1, click. But you guys can do it. You can do it with me.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So we're gonna click out. So if you guys like the video, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you want to check out Black, so say it again.
It's Black 57 TCB. Yep.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay, that's on Instagram. And if you guys want to purchase any of his work, he's got an Etsy shop, and you ship all over the place, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we do. We ship all over the place.
Very cool. Okay, so if you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel here, leave us a comment below. Think of what you just saw. Does it change your opinion on this kind of art form? Because I already had a great opinion on it, but this just opens up my eyes to what can go into it and how it can just be a never-ending project for the right person. And leave us a comment below. Check out the Patreon. Check out the channel memberships if you guys want to, as I always do for the wife, vegasfacemask.com. And this is the time of the video where we say 3, 2, 1, click. You want to come closer to the camera?
Yeah, let's do it.
Make sure we can see ourselves in here. We say 3, 2, 1, click. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, we say 3, 2, 1, click.